You want to sit down? Wait, say this. Progress in Alameda, car into a building. 2 are deceased in the vehicle. Daughter's driving.
Who died?
Southwest Dispatch.
Yes. Are you familiar where Progress coincides with Albion Road there in Strongsville?
Yep.
There's a car that smashed up against the building.
This girl, McKenzie Shirilla, turned a night of celebration into a nightmare. On a warm summer night in 2022, Strongsville, Ohio seemed like the perfect backdrop for celebration. McKenzie Shirilla, a high school senior, spent the evening with her boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and their friend, Davion Flanagan, marking what should have been a joyful milestone. But what started as a night of laughter ended in unthinkable tragedy. By morning, Dominic and Davion were dead, their lives stolen in a horrific car crash that left McKenzie as the sole survivor.
Radio. Car's split in two. Radio, there's an occupant inside. Send us a squad down. We gotta bust the window out. Send us some more units.
Any more units to Progress?
This is not a fresh accident either. She's been here for a while. Radio, we got at least 2 occupants in here. No one's moving. Oh my God. Oh my God. Times 3, guys. Radio, 3 occupants.
Was this an accident born of recklessness, or was it something far darker?
Oh my God, dude. Who can hear my voice? Driver's radio. The driver is breathing, unconscious.
Not good. Let me see your knife. Cut this thing out.
This is bad, guys. She's alive. We gotta get her out somehow.
A twisted motive, chilling evidence, and shocking behavior would leave the town and the nation reeling. This is the story of a toxic relationship that spiraled out of control, ending in heartbreak and questions that still haunt those left behind. Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan were young men with lives brimming with potential. Dominic, one of 8 siblings, was a driven and charismatic individual who dreamed of launching his own clothing line. Known for his entrepreneurial spirit and love for basketball, Dominic had a magnetic personality that drew people to him. Davion, his close friend, had overcome a thunderous childhood in foster care to pursue a brighter future. Adopted by a loving family, he set his sights on becoming a barber and opening his own shop, even teaching himself basic skills through YouTube tutorials. McKenzie Shirilla, Dominic's girlfriend of 3 years, was the picture of high school popularity. A social media influencer with a growing online following, she curated a life that seemed flawless. Her Instagram and TikTok posts showcased trendy outfits and idyllic moments, but her content sometimes included troubling themes, such as references to drugs and reckless behavior, which hinted at a darker side.
I'm not even cool. I'm just one of those girls that can do a lot of drugs and not die.
But behind the scenes, her relationship with Dominic was far from perfect. Friends and family would later describe it as toxic, marked by jealousy and manipulation. McKenzie's possessiveness created rifts, and Dominic's attempts to distance himself only intensified her controlling behavior. The trio's paths converged on the fateful night of July 31st, 2022. What should have been a celebration of their achievements became the beginning of an unimaginable tragedy. McKenzie's outwardly enviable life and the promising futures of Dominic and Davion would come to a sudden and violent end, leaving a community struggling to make sense of the loss. In the early hours of July 31st, 2022, a heated argument unfolded inside McKenzie Shirilla's Toyota Camry. Dominic Russo, frustrated and desperate to end their toxic relationship, had reached out to friends and family for help. Witnesses would later recall hearing McKenzie's ominous words, "I'll crash this car right now." Those words, spoken in a moment of anger, would soon manifest into a horrifying reality. At approximately 5:30 a.m., McKenzie's car hurtled down Progress Drive at a breakneck speed of 100 miles per hour. The quiet suburban street offered no obstacles, no warning signs to slow her down. Within seconds, the car smashed into a building with devastating force. The impact was catastrophic. Dominic and Davion, 2 promising young men, were killed instantly. McKenzie, unconscious and wedged beneath the dashboard, was the sole survivor. The 911 calls that followed captured the shock and confusion of the responders.
Yes. Are you familiar where Progress coincides with Albion Road there in Strongsville?
Yep.
There's a car that's smashed up against the building.
First responders worked frantically to rescue McKenzie from the wreckage, her body crushed, but miraculously alive.
Sorry, we're good to try to get her out? Oh, dude, I don't know if we can there. Oh my God. She's breathing. She's breathing. Her head's wedged. Let's see if we can get some IDs, guys. She's breathing. I saw her stomach. Her stomach's cool. Look. We got 2 that are gone.
She was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. In the immediate aftermath, the community rallied around McKenzie, believing her to be a victim of a tragic accident.
These kids are part of my heart. You lose one, and it hurts. It hurts till you cry.
It was shocking. We've known Davion for about 14 years. They've been neighbors of ours. We've watched him grow up from this little scrawny kid to this big muscular football player. And he was really like a third son for me, so it was devastating.
GoFundMe pages were set up for the families of Dominic and Davion, as well as for McKenzie's medical expenses. Messages of support poured in, expressing sympathy for a teenage girl who had seemingly lost everything. But as investigators began to dig deeper, the narrative of a simple accident would unravel, revealing a much darker truth. As the shock of the crash subsided, investigators began piecing together the events of that fateful morning. What they uncovered painted a far more chilling picture. Forensic analysis of McKenzie's Toyota Camry revealed troubling details. The accelerator had been fully pressed, with no indication that she had attempted to brake. Surveillance footage from Progress Drive further corroborated these findings. It showed McKenzie turning onto the street with precision before accelerating to deadly speeds. This was no accidental swerve or loss of control. It appeared to be deliberate. McKenzie's behavior in the weeks following the crash only deepened suspicions. While Dominic and Davion's families were grieving their unimaginable losses,
just so you know, obviously, Officer Laricana, this is Father Joe. He's
where are you? Oh,
St. Joe's in Strongsville.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'm also the chaplain of the police and fire department.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
So, unfortunately, there was an accident, okay, involving McKenzie, Davion, and who we believe is Dominic, is the third person.
An accident?
A car accident, okay,
Wait,
last night.
Wait.
Just relax, just hold on, just stay seated, just hold on, just listen.
Yeah, so take a deep breath.
Christine, look at me. No, we don't. Right now, it's so early in the investigation that we don't know. What we do know 100% is somebody called it in. Somebody passing by called it in at around 6:30. Yeah. So what it appears that happened is they were going westbound on Progress from Pearl Road, and they went in Strongsville. That business that's right on Alameda, right where Progress ends, that ends right there. They hit that building. They hit the sign out front, and then they hit the building.
Were they fall asleep in the wheel or something?
Don't know.
We don't know that. So
2 kids are dead. My son's dead. Another kid's dead.
Go
And
ahead.
the girl's in the hospital.
she's in surgery right now.
Oh my God, huh, Chris?
McKenzie returned to social media, posting selfies from her hospital bed and attending Halloween events dressed as a corpse. Her actions, which some might interpret as coping mechanisms, struck others as shockingly insensitive. To the investigators, they signaled a lack of remorse. Interviews with friends and family added further layers to the narrative. Dominic's loved ones described his relationship with McKenzie as increasingly strained. Her jealousy and controlling behavior had taken a toll, and he had been trying to end things. Witnesses recalled McKenzie issuing threats whenever Dominic attempted to leave, including the ominous words, "If you break up with me, I'll kill myself."
The relationship. What was she like as your girlfriend?
I mean, like, she's kind of just like how you would explain any girls, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're all over the place in some ways, and like, they don't know what they want. And I don't know, she would say stuff like towards the crazy side. Like, I remember conversations with her when she couldn't like decide what she wanted, like between me and Dom. Kind of, she would be like, she's like, oh, I love Dom so much, this and that, but like he's mad at me for all of this. And I'm just like, well, yeah, like why wouldn't he be like, you need to like just go stay with Dom because I'm not gonna be with you no more after this. Like I'm cool with just keeping the friend group as friends because I don't want to mess up the friend group. I was like, I don't got no problems with you or anything like that. We can also be friends. But just like you need to go talk to Dom about like your personal issues and stuff because that's your relationship with him. Like, and she would tell me like how she obviously smokes weed, but she would say stuff like I don't even get high anymore and stuff like that because how much she's close. And that was basically like I didn't really have much with her relationship wise because we didn't date that long, but like friend wise, like
She's like mentally just not all there. I mean,
yeah, I don't think she's just mentally all there. Like I personally feel like she was trying to kill herself in that crash, and she failed on doing so. Is what I feel like, and I feel like she had no regard for Davion, and I feel like they got in an argument, her and Dom, and she threatened to kill him.
Had she ever threatened that before?
She hasn't ever threatened to hurt anyone, but she's threatened probably like she hasn't like physically said like I'm gonna kill myself, but she's like. You know what I'm saying? Like made it to the point.
Alluded to it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like where she's just like, I hate life, like shit like that, and like. But we were all obviously like, endeavoring, still trying to be friends with her and stuff like that. But our friend group probably fell out with Kenzie around like after 10th grade, and that's kind of when like all of us stopped being friends with just her. We were all cool with her still, just because she's so like crazy. She'll blow everyone's phone up. She's all over the place with everything, and then she's just in general like kind of a shady person. She's like a snake. Like she'll go and talk shit to everyone about everyone, and then like. You know what I'm saying? She'll go talk shit about me to someone else, and then she'll go talk shit about to that person to me. You know what I'm saying? But she would do it with everyone. She went through multiple friend groups because of the type of person she was. Like, she doesn't have no regard for it.
These revelations cast the crash in an even darker light, shifting the narrative from accident to potential premeditated act. Witnesses recalled prior incidents of reckless driving, where McKenzie used her car as a weapon in heated arguments. The investigation began to point to a chilling conclusion. This was not just a case of reckless teenage behavior. The evidence suggested something far more calculated and sinister. Prosecutors argued that the crash was not a spur-of-the-moment accident, but a carefully planned act of vengeance. Cell phone records revealed that McKenzie had visited the crash site days before the incident, suggesting she had scouted the location. Friends recounted chilling arguments where she threatened to harm Dominic if he ever tried to leave her.
So, do you remember the incident that I'm about to ask you about where
Yes.
you picked him up from the highway?
Yes.
Okay. That day, what do you remember? Where were you when you got the call? Who called you? And what did they ask you to do?
I was actually at Christine's house. We were sitting around. She had just came back. She was sick. She got out of the hospital and wasn't feeling well. Dominic called her and he was upset. She was like, well, where are you at? And he was like, I'm driving in the car with her. And he was like, I just want to go. He was like, I don't want to be around her anymore. I'm done. So she was like, well, do you mind going to go pick him up? I said, not a problem. So as I leave her house, go to the highway, get on the highway, and I call him. I said, well, where are you at? She was like, I'll crash this car out. And I'm like, dude, what you mean? I'm like, Dominic, just tell her to pull over. Like, I'm right behind you guys, so just pull over and stop. You know, and I'm right here. Like, I'll be there in 2 seconds. So I hop on the highway, they were more down towards the Pearl. I get on at 82, and they were more a little bit past the Pearl exit right there. And you know, it was raining. So as soon as I pulled up, she's just going like this, and he's trying to get out the car. And once he get in the car with me, I said, dude, you know, you don't have to deal with this. You're young, you know, you have a long life to live. You know, you don't have to deal with no chick in her attitudes, whatever. If you're not happy, just let her go. You know what I mean? If it was true love, she'll be back. But yeah, we got in the car, and he was like, man, I just can't deal with, you know, she don't want to listen. She drives like a maniac. I was like, well, you know, you don't have to drive with her. You have your own car. You know, and just let her go about her way. Take your time away from her. Get yourself together. And he was like, yeah, I think that's gonna be the best thing to do.
When you were on the phone with him, can you clarify again what you heard her say over the phone?
She said she'll crash this car right now.
You heard her say that? Okay. And so they pulled the car over. Were they on the right side or the left side? Do you
Right
remember?
side.
Right side.
Yeah.
So
right off the berm.
right off the berm. So did you get out of the car, or did Dom just come back to you?
Well, I was starting to get out the car because I seen her just going over, grabbing him and swinging at him.
So she's swinging at him, reaching over? Okay.
And I started to get out the car, and then I seen the door open, and he jumped out. And I said, well, come on, dude, it's raining. Get in the car. We're out of here.
The evidence painted a harrowing picture. McKenzie's actions were not impulsive, but deliberate. What began as a celebration of youth and freedom ended in a calculated act of destruction, leaving 2 promising lives tragically cut short. If you're finding this story captivating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more gripping true crime content. Your support means a lot. Thank you. The trial of McKenzie Shirilla drew widespread attention, with emotional testimonies from the families of Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan leaving the courtroom in tears. They spoke of the bright futures stolen from their loved ones and the immense grief they had endured.
Dom was not only my brother, he was also my best friend.
Be thankful that you're still alive and have a future, whatever that may be. Dom and Davion were robbed of their futures, their hopes, and their dreams.
By the loss of Davion, the world lost a truly special man.
Now that Davion is gone, I feel stuck. I feel as if I can't move forward.
The prosecution presented damning evidence, including surveillance footage and forensic data, framing McKenzie as a cold and calculated killer.
Shortly after being released from the hospital, the police were provided additional videos of the defendant from her wheelchair as she attended a concert down in the Flats. And again, Your Honor, I'm introducing these to the court to show the shocking lack of remorse. This was something that was being exhibited while the investigation was still going on, before she was charged and arrested in November of last year. And these were the sort of things that were coming to the police, and the shocking lack of remorse, coupled with the fact that the defendant was reported driving an automobile.
The intent was obvious upon seeing that video, that there was only one goal, and the computer demonstrated that there was no attempt to slow down or stop, that it was full speed into a building, and said tragically it cost 2 people their lives.
Judge Nancy Margaret Russo, visibly moved by the case, described McKenzie's actions as hell on wheels.
This trial is a culmination of decisions made by one person, the defendant. Those decisions have forever altered the futures of 3 families, and of you also, McKenzie. And your decisions forever robbed Dominic and Davion of the futures that they had before them. If there is one thing that can be taken away from this case, as painful as it is this. Every decision we make is important. Every action we make is important. Regardless of whether the decision is a good one or a bad one, or the actions are good or not, the result is the same. The consequences ripple through time and affect many more people than one might think at the time of the decision. In criminal cases, the state carries the greatest burden under our law, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. As I previously stated, I considered all the evidence presented. And at this point, I would like to comment specifically on Exhibit 802, the crash video. This is the type of evidence you can never unsee. You can never forget the visual or audio of this exhibit. It's chilling and tragic. As you review that exhibit, you know that you are watching the oncoming deaths of 2 people, and there is nothing that will stop it.
She condemned the deliberate and premeditated nature of the crash, emphasizing the calculated decisions McKenzie made to end Dominic and Davion's lives.
The video clearly shows the purpose and intent of the defendant. She chose a course of death and destruction that day. Exhibit 802 crystallizes the deadly decision-making of the defendant. She morphs from a responsible driver to literal hell on wheels as she makes her way down the street. McKenzie alone made the decision to drive the car, to drive an obscure route, a route she visited a few days before, and a route not routinely taken by her. McKenzie alone chose the time to make the drive, early in the morning, when any reasonable person would expect that few people would be nearby to witness it or offer life-saving assistance. She made these decisions despite knowing, as any reasonable person would, that her mission of death could have involved others, not even in the car with her, other people, other cars, pedestrians. She had a mission, and she executed it with precision. The mission was death. McKenzie alone decided to push the pedal to the floor and demand the ultimate speed of that vehicle to 90 to 100 miles per hour. She alone decided what was to be. McKenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day, and she alone made that decision for Dominic and Davion, and she continuously acted in a manner to achieve her purpose. Whether or not she intended to also kill herself is a matter of speculation and have no relevance to the weight of the evidence in this case. The totality of the evidence clearly demonstrates that McKenzie Shirilla acted purposely and intentionally. In the early morning hours of July 31st, 2022, her purpose was to kill Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan. No reasonable fact finder could view the totality of the evidence in this case and come to any other conclusion.
The defense painted a contrasting narrative, portraying McKenzie as a grieving teenager who had made a tragic mistake. They argued that her emotional struggles clouded her judgment, leading to a reckless decision rather than a premeditated act of murder.
Is it just kids being kids? Is it Dominic grabbing the steering wheel? Is it McKenzie maybe speeding and say, oh my God, dark out, it's light, I'm coming up to this, I better do something, and she goes like that to avoid an accident, not acting purposely, but in fact trying to avoid it? Is it sudden acceleration, panic?
They urged the court to consider her age and the traumatic aftermath of the crash. However, the prosecution's evidence, including surveillance footage and forensic analysis, painted a starkly different picture.
I just want to say to the families that I'm broken, sad, and lost, and my heart hurts for everyone, okay? Davion was her new friend, and Dom was the love of her life, and he was part of our family, okay? I'm just so sorry that this happened, and we're heartbroken, okay? And then, Your Honor, this was a terrible, tragic nightmare accident to have happened that she has no memory of, and she will never emotionally or physically recover from it. She almost died too, and we're asking that you please not run the sentence as consecutive. He was family, and we all loved each other. That morning of the accident, she called, I got a phone call that there was a car accident, okay? So we went to the hospital, and I didn't even know who was in the car. The names had not been confirmed yet. And I'm gonna cry because I missed Dom so much. We loved him so much. I called Dom, like over and over again, praying that he was gonna answer the phone, and he didn't answer the phone. So then I tried to call his mom, and she didn't answer the phone either. And I still didn't know who was in the car. I didn't even know if she was alive. I didn't know what was happening. So then we were in the waiting room. And then his mom she did call me, so I answered the phone, and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't even know who was in the car, like, what's happening, was that Dom? And she said, what do you mean, my son is dead? And I was like, I'm so sorry. And then she said something like, and now I have to wait until your kid's out of the hospital, and then I didn't hear the rest. I was like, we loved him so much, and I hung up the phone. I did not talk about social media. I didn't even know what was going on yet, okay? So then, that was it. So in the hospital, that fatality post, I commented on that because somebody had called her a murderer, okay? And she's not a murderer, so she didn't even have her phone at that point because the police had still had it, okay? So I jumped on, and I was like, you know, she's not a murderer. She's more sad than most of these people commenting. She's been trying to get in touch with you. I mean, at that point, it was just an accident. So I commented on her behalf, not because of the modeling opportunity. Who cares about that? I don't want them to refer to her as a murderer, okay? And I don't even know how that comment got on the phone because the police still had her device, and she could not access her phone or social media. That's why I did it. I just wanted them to stop calling her a murderer so that when she did come to, and she did come out of surgery, multiple surgeries, that she wouldn't see all these people calling her a murderer because she would never, ever, ever murder the love of her life.
I'm hearing an awful lot about your daughter. I'm not hearing very much about the two dead people.
Dominic, okay, I'm asking you for a leniency because this was a tragic accident that she does not remember. And Davion, he's a new friend. I'm so sorry.
What does that mean? His life is worthless?
No. God, no, not at all. They all loved each other. They all spent every day together. You know what I mean? I don't know too much for him.
Isn't that part of the problem, Mrs. Shirilla?
Sorry?
Isn't that part of the problem, that they all trusted each other? Isn't that part of
It's not a problem at all. It was wonderful.
The problem how they all ended up in the car together and two of them ended up dead.
I understand. I understand what it looks like. I'm saying that it was a tragic accident. She would never.
No, we're going to have to disagree on that.
I understand.
Right. And I respect the position. You disagree with me.
I understand. But anyway, that's it. I just wanted to address those. We told her to go to those things, and then she did go with Dom's family. So look at that. Don't look at it with look on that with different eyes if you can, please.
Those things are not relevant.
Not at all. But she's a good. If you would have a moment, all you would need is 5 minutes of a conversation to have with her to learn who she is. Just that you would just need 5 minutes to learn who she is and what she's capable of not doing and doing, and you would see for yourself. That's all. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I love you. The families of Dom and Davion, I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken. I love Dom and Davion. We were all friends, and Dom was my soulmate. I wish I could take all your pain away.
The judge, in her final remarks, stated,
Her actions were controlled, methodical, deliberate, intentional, and purposeful. This was not reckless driving. This was murder.
Ultimately, McKenzie was sentenced to 2 15-year-to-life terms. to be served concurrently.
Court renders the following verdicts. Count 1. The court, having had count 1 tried to pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, McKenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder to wit Dominic Russo in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02a, is charged with count 1. Count 2. The court, having had count 2 tried to pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, McKenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder to wit Davion Flanagan in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02a, is charged with count 2 of the indictment. Count 3, murder.
While some members of the victims' families found solace in the verdict, others felt no sentence could truly deliver justice for the lives lost. The courtroom fell silent as the weight of the decision settled over all present. McKenzie's actions had irrevocably altered the lives of countless people, leaving a trail of heartbreak and unanswered questions. The impact of the tragedy echoed through the Strongsville community, leaving it grappling with the loss of 2 young lives and the troubling circumstances surrounding their deaths. For the families of Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan, the grief was immense and unrelenting. The futures they had envisioned for their sons were violently stolen, replaced by an unfillable void. Dominic's family mourned the loss of a budding entrepreneur with charisma and drive, while Davion's loved ones remembered a resilient young man who had overcome a troubled past to chase his dreams. Beyond the immediate families, the community was divided. Many saw McKenzie Shirilla's actions as unforgivable, while others viewed her as a troubled teenager who had made a devastating mistake. Her sentencing, 2 concurrent 15-year-to-life terms, sparked heated debates. Some believed it was just, while others felt it failed to account for her age and emotional struggles. Social media amplified these divisions, with McKenzie's behavior post-crash becoming a focal point of scrutiny. Her selfies and Halloween outings were interpreted by many as evidence of a lack of remorse. Amid the heartbreak, the community found ways to honor Dominic and Davion. Memorials, candlelight vigils, and tributes celebrated their lives and legacies. Grassroots initiatives emerged, aiming to raise awareness about reckless driving and the importance of mental health support for young people. While these efforts couldn't undo the tragedy, they provided a sense of purpose and hope, ensuring that Dominic and Davion's stories would not be forgotten. The case of McKenzie Shirilla forces us to grapple with difficult questions. Was justice truly served, or was this a tragedy with no winners? For the families of Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan, the verdict brought some closure, but the pain of their loss remains immeasurable.
We are just thankful that we feel justice was served today. There's not a day that goes by that we don't miss our son, and justice was served for him today. But honestly, there's no winners here. There's no winners here today.
For McKenzie, the sentence marked the beginning of a long road of accountability and reflection, with the shadow of her actions forever altering her future. This story is a sobering reminder of the destructive power of unchecked emotions and toxic relationships. It highlights the importance of mental health awareness, the dangers of impulsive decisions, and the devastating ripple effects they can have on countless lives. As the Strongsville community continues to heal, the lessons from this tragedy resonate far beyond its borders. In the end, the question remains: how do we balance justice with compassion? And in cases like this, can there ever truly be justice for the lives lost? Thank you for joining us in uncovering the chilling details of this case. If this story has left you disturbed or reflective, please share your thoughts and reflections. Remember to like, subscribe, and stay with us as we continue to explore the stories that reveal the darkest sides of human behavior. Together, we keep these lessons alive, ensuring the voices of victims are never forgotten. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe or follow.